Goedemorgen, Bitcoin. Today is Tuesday, September 19th, 2017. My name is Thomas Hunt, and here's what's happening today in Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin is up 1.5% in the last 24 hours, with a last of 38.93, a high of 40.81, and a low of 38.35. $4,000. Bitcoin's price shrugs off the China exchange news. As we predicted on the World Crypto Network, the right move was to hold. And as Tone Vays predicted, the bottom was 3,000. Bitcoin dipped all the way down to around 29.81 before recovering to $4,000. It may even go higher. No one knows the price, but everyone believes in Bitcoin. As expected, users bought the dip. The Wall Street Journal, actually owned by Fox News, Bitcoin's wild ride shows the truth. It is probably worth zero. And again, we can substitute the word Bitcoin for internet here, and we can say the internet's value depends on criminals. As we heard in 1994, the internet is a dirty place full of thieves and criminals sharing pornography and dirty images and bad ideas. No, wait, the internet's where everyone does their shopping. It's where everyone gets their news. It's where everyone gets their music and movies. Could that be the same for Bitcoin? I think so. Laura Shin's back. Jamie Dimon, here's why you're wrong about Bitcoin. There's a lot of words and you might not read them all, but it's great to see Laura Shin back on the right side of things. And maybe she was there all along, but still, you can't give this guy too much attention. If you're arguing with a banker about Bitcoin, you know what he's going to say. And as Laura says, the only group that truly controls Bitcoin in the end are the users. And even then, the only way they control it is indirectly with their economic power. They are obviously not working in concert together or perpetrating a fraud against themselves. So nice work by Laura. We're going to go and unblock her on Twitter. That's a nice thing to do. And Sydney Morning Herald, all the way from Australia. Bitcoin is beyond government control. That's right. It's one of the major selling points of Bitcoin is that it does not control by any government or corporation. And as the article says, there are always those waiting in the wings to buy Bitcoin whenever there's a price dip, not because they're interested in trading, but because they feel it is seriously undervalued in the long term. And if you just think about everyone that you know that doesn't use Bitcoin yet and realize they have to hear about it, reject it, hear about it again, get really interested in it, and then buy some, everyone in the world is going to go through that process. Everyone in the world is going to get interested in Bitcoin. We're also joined by Tone Vays for a quick check of the markets. How's it going, Tone?
Oh, there I am. Now I'm unmuted. Pretty good, pretty good. I'm still in Germany, off to Munich in a little bit. Off to Munich in about an hour and a half or so. So there's a meetup in Munich tonight. Come out. Also Oktoberfest in Munich. Let's see if I can sneak into one of those tents. And we'll have a good time. Have a good time. Yeah, it's interesting what you said about the internet. I remember those days in like 96 when AOL came out, 96, 97. And it was all like, don't talk to strangers. Next thing will happen is they'll pull up in their car and you'll get into it. And look at us now with Uber. So literally what the internet is for. But let's take a look at the markets here. So here's the weekly chart. We bounced right off, right there. We bounced right off 3,000 or vicinity. And now we're going up. So my weekly chart right now is actually still neutral. There was a nice bounce to be made right there at 3,000 using shorter time frames. And most importantly, the reason for the bounce, which isn't on this chart, but it's on my other chart, is that was the prior high. So I'm a big fan of price bouncing off prior highs. So there you go. Okay, so that's one of the reasons for it. Now, as far as my indicators go, we're still neutral. You want to see something known as a price flip. and then we can start to go back up. So that could take another week or two unless we start to go up real heavy back up to like 5 grand. But for now, the long-term view is generally neutral. We don't know if this 3,000 is going to hold for the rest of the year, but right now it's looking like it. And I'll wait. If I was buying Bitcoin, I would wait till I see a weekly close above 4250, and then try to pick it up the following week, unless it's flying really fast and really hard to the upside. So here's where you have more confidence. This is the daily chart. The daily chart gave you a monster warning right here at the very top, and I was calling it at $5,000 for there to be a correction. Now, I had no idea how deep the correction would go. I honestly thought the correction was over after a couple of days. Then there were a couple of more days with the initial China news, where I also said, hey, it's going to blow over. Then the China news accelerated with, oh, now they're going to ban Bitcoin. That's when you go cautious again. And I did try to time the $3,000 low. But if you didn't, I also tweeted out a buy right here 2 days ago, like, hey, I have one of my nines. Get ready for some upside. I was looking for at least 4 days of upside, 1 to 4 days of upside, I should say, and then reevaluate. So we had 1 full day. It was a really good day. We're pulling back a little bit, but I'm not nervous yet. I'm not going to get nervous until we get below this candle. Until we get back to below 3,700, nothing is making me nervous. I still think there's more upside. So now let's go deeper into the time frames. This is the price flip, by the way. We went from red to green. Let's go deeper into the time frames. Why are we slightly correcting right now? Well, on the 4-hour chart, you can see it clear as day. I just woke up. I actually just saw it about 30 seconds ago. We were prepping for the show. And I'm like, oh, wow, well, that makes sense. My 4-hour chart has a giant red arrow on it on this candle. Up and with momentum was coming to an end. Remember, all this is just an indication of momentum. And when it hits certain consecutive days of momentum, it just means the humans are pretty much starting to get exhausted. And this is why this applies to every asset. And here we go. So what am I looking for now that we got one of these nines on the 4-hour chart? Well, I am looking for a 1 to 4 candle correction, and then most likely more upside. That's what I'm looking for right now. So sometime later today, because it's morning in Europe, sometime later today, maybe even by the time people on the West Coast wake up, we'll be back to the upside. So that's what I'm looking for right now. And finally, here's the 1-hour chart. And I don't really, there was a nice doji. I mean, it would have been nice to get this red count down to a 9 and then reverse, but that's okay. We have a reversal candle right at the moving average. We're about to have a moving average cross in an hour. So again, on the hourly chart, things looking like they might have gone far enough. On the 4-hour, could be a little bit more downside. Daily is still bullish, and weekly is still neutral. Back to you, Thomas.
All right. Thanks, Tone, for that update. And just like to ask everybody to give us a thumbs up and a share. If it's your first time here, please subscribe down below. I guess we'll say hi. I'm in Amsterdam today. Tone's in Munich. So we're continuing to travel through Europe. And it's fun. We're ahead of the American time, as Tone mentioned. I can finally watch Saturday Night Live early in the evening. I'm ahead of New York for once. It's a pleasure. But thanks so much, everybody, for watching. If you'd like to donate, we've got a QR code right here. And give us a thumbs up and a share. That helps more people find the show. And we'll be back tomorrow with another episode of Today in Bitcoin. Until then,
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.